We've got some
Hey,
fresh new
I'm
young
Luis.
talent
And
doing some
I'm
things that I
Luis.
know you haven't
And you're
heard
listening to the
before.
Content is Profit podcast.
Guys, today, incredible guest, incredible episode. We're going to be talking about building the life you dreamed of. Woo! And many other things. We're going to talk a lot. Actually, we had a challenge from today's guest.
Yeah.
She said, I want challenging questions. So I
so-
think today we're going to dig into our inner Socrates and look for those really good questions.
So LUISDA will not be talking today, but I'm gonna be a total learner over here today. But with that, FONZI, do we have a sponsor today?
Indeed, we do. Thank you for asking,
You're
good
welcome,
sir.
my friend.
And today's sponsor is your own, the BIZBROS. Yes, we sponsor our own podcast with content momentum.
That's right.
If you want to build a powerful network, you want to have a platform that raises your status and gives you more opportunities, guess what? We are here to help you out. Slide in the DMs at BIZBROSCO on Facebook, on Instagram.
That's right. And go ahead and follow the show because every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, these episodes are dropping with incredible value for you to move your business forward and your life forward. So go ahead and follow the show. Support. It's awesome.
That is right. And if today's guests help you move one step forward towards your goal, please don't forget to share this episode with 3 friends. That is your ticket of admission to today's episode. And leave a 5-star review.
Today's guest was introduced to us by a previous Content is Profit guest, and it turns out we are in the same city. That aside, she's someone that can change your life forever, and she will if you let her.
That is right. Today's guest has had a lifetime of experiences. She understands the struggle of today's high performers better than anyone else, and she's here today to help you find happiness in your life and business.
Today's guest is the #1 best-selling author of The 6 Habits, a TEDx speaker, and an award-winning business owner that has sold over 15 million macaroonies in contracts and ended up retiring at 37. Pretty impressive, if you ask me.
Pretty impressive indeed. Please welcome best-selling author and America's happiest coach, Laura DiBenedetto. Woohoo!
What's up, Laura?
That is like literally the best intro I've ever had. Yeah.
Let's go. Mission accomplished. Imagine if we would be doing this live. Just saying, we'll have like confetti and just like
Yeah.
No, I love it. I mean, shit, if I had that kind of introduction, just getting out of bed every day. Wow.
I mean, that's like a $500 service. So, I mean, we're totally okay with that. You're
I
doing
mean,
that.
you're here in
just let us know.
Jacksonville, so
there we go. Hey, not America's happiest coach deserves America's happiest introduction, I guess, right? It's
Right?
a match made in
Yeah.
heaven right there.
the cats don't
Yeah.
really like make it to the hype squad, but you guys are totally promoted.
Thank you.
Sounds
Thank you
good.
so
We'll
much.
take it.
Yes, deep in the heart. By the way, so behind the scenes, a little bit in the live, we were talking about how I'm gonna be a little bit of a third wheel today. Like Fonz's like, oh my god, yeah, I had this incredible conversation with Laura like before like a month ago, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, well, for people like me that might not have that background, and I did some homework, so I might know one or two things, but like, who's Laura? Like, can you explain to us a little bit of your journey? Like, when did your entrepreneurship thing started? We call it the thing, I guess.
I mean, you call it the thing. It seems like it.
It is the thing. It's the thing that'll make your life better, worse, and everything all in between. So entrepreneurship is a hell of a ride. It's a roller coaster that you love and hate all at the same time. So who am I? Well, I'm a rebel. I don't like rules. Rules suck. I don't want to grow up. That sucks too. And I always wanted the same things that mostly everybody else wanted. I wanted to be happy, and I wanted to make an impact on my own life, and I really just wanted to do what I wanted to do, right? And wealth is something we all want. Success is something we all want. I knew all that. And for years, I was the young, scrappy, rebellious entrepreneur who started a company at 19 and tried to build myself a little empire. And I did all the things, but I forgot a lot of stuff along the way. Like, oh, I don't know, be happy. Don't be a raging psycho bitch. Don't set your health on fire, stuff like that. And when I retired, all of the things that I forgot came barreling at me like a whole convoy of trucks just running me over. I was sick. I was fighting with my hubby. Like, it was just rough. It was really, really rough. So I just got really inspired. I was just like, damn it, what did I do wrong? So I wanted to know what happy people had in common because whatever it was, I didn't have it. And just got really curious. I wanted to solve the problem. Became a very happy, super fun, very joyful uh goal crusher. And it's been the most epic thing in the universe to be able to help other people be really courageous and joyful and just going after everything and doing things the right way. Have it all without setting yourself on fire. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like we've experienced it a little bit. We actually just came from an event about 2 weeks ago, came from an event. And one of the guys there, his name is Alex Sharfin, he was talking about how entrepreneurs love to be the arsonists of their life. Like if they are not putting out fires, like they're going to go and they're going to start their own fires, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, it seems to me like that stage of your life, you were kind of that person. You were like, I need a fire to be putting out to like, I just want to go, 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 go and have that feeling of momentum, of success that you're consistently achieving. And obviously that you pay the price for that.
Yeah.
And I'm curious on that transition, right? On that transition from like, I am person A, and now I'm transitioning to be starting to get into awareness of who I can become, right? Or who do I need to become in order to be happy and maybe like save my own life, right? And I'm curious, how did that awareness look for you?
And FONZI right off the bat.
Right off the bat, hey, we're going strong here.
No, I like it. The awareness of something like that is when you finally just feel the impact of everything all at once. And when you're constantly moving for the sake of moving, that's called momentum, right? And I was loaded with momentum. And then when I finally stopped, I actually had a minute to assess, and I was like, "Whoa, this is not what I thought I was getting. This is not fun, healthy, enjoyable, anything. Like something's wrong here." It was really just the revelation of like something's horribly wrong. Happiness, it matters, really matters, and people want to discount it and like, oh, it's fluffy girl stuff. No, it's kind of like core to humans and particularly entrepreneurs, because why the hell do we start businesses in the first place? Why do you guys start this podcast? Because we make you happy to do it, right? And I pursued a lot of things for the end goal, not necessarily for the journey. And it was, man, it was when I finally actually had a minute to just feel the impact and the weight of all the choices that I made. It just really made me very self-reflective. And frankly, it was painful. I mean, they say necessity is the mother of invention, right? Well, so is being really pissed off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. Like, I was just so mad that like I bought into the hype of, hustle and grind and blah, blah, blah. Like I bought into all that stuff, and God, what a scam. It really is. And nothing's free. Nothing is free. So you like, yeah, I can hustle and I can do all this other stuff. No, like freedom isn't free. Hard work isn't free. Just because it doesn't cost you dollars doesn't mean it's not going to cost you something. It cost me time with my family. It cost me my health. It cost me, frankly, having a nice personality there for a while.
Yeah.
Don't recommend going that route.
Thank you for sharing. So I've been listening to a lot of like I've been going back to like entrepreneur stories on like how they and I noticed a little bit of a trend. Like I guess I call it cycles, right? Do you feel like people get into this world of like, I want to build something, right? I want to create something, whether that's like very young age or now. Do they have to cycle, right? Like because I feel like everybody has like that story of like, man, like I really like worked really hard, really hustled. I really like moved mountains to get to this spot. And then I get to this spot and it's like, crap, it's not really what I thought it was going to be. Right. And it's like this convoy of trucks, like you described, that hitting your face. Right. And in most stories, you hear that moment. Right. And then I've heard a couple of entrepreneurs are like, man, yeah, that's called cycling, right? And it happens again at different levels depending on what you do. Do you feel like that's necessary, or can people really like skip it? Or if they don't skip it, like why are people not really learning? Like I personally feel that it might be a necessary step and we should just accept it. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think everybody's cycle is different. That's a good question. I asked you to challenge me and you did. That's a good one. So, first of all, everybody's cycle is different. And I think it's different based on who you are and what you value and also what you're pursuing, right? And how well you understand what the journey to get there will look like and the outcome. And people tend to repeat the same mistakes until they learn them. So that's a cycle, if I ever saw one. So if you continually find yourself being disappointed in the outcome, maybe you could focus less on the outcome, maybe understand the outcome more before you jump in. There's a lot of different things to that, but I mean, there's there's a lot of this that's like really optional. I think that if you change who you are and how you approach the things you do, the journey, blah blah blah, it can be different. So I mean, I did some of this cyclical stuff myself, but it's like, how many times are you going to touch the hot stove until you stop doing it? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, for me, it was I had to actually change the relationship with the journey and decide that the journey was the point. The destination is a detail. And it's nice to know the general direction I'm going in and I know why I'm going there. And a lot of people who really support and extol the virtues of like SMART goals, are like, get specific, blah, 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 blah. But things like that can really just arbitrarily wear you down just
Mm.
because it's forcing a rigidity and a commitment to an outcome versus enjoyment of the journey and the pleasure of doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you go, Fonzie, another question. I know that you're
Mhm.
about to, but I want to make a comment on this because I don't think I've shared this story before. We actually went through an exercise.
Exclusive. Oh no, that's about
Wow,
wrong
bro.
sound.
Yeah, come on.
Da, 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 da.
Okay, there you go. We actually went through an exercise a few months ago, right? We grabbed this book Traction, which it was really helpful, right? We followed all of the steps, right? But we're in the stage in the company that we have been evolving. The service that we offer has evolved. We get feedback constantly every single day, and it gets better and better and better, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes we hit a really good angle. Sometimes it's like we test messages and a lot of the things with the production of our own content, of the things that we do. And when we did this exercise, I internally felt like it was built for a company that already has everything set up and is running, and it's like to gather this like big group of people together through this vision, right? But we were in this place where we're very malleable, right? Like we have to adapt, we have to move, and we're like, okay, let's commit to this for the next like 2-3 months, right? And to me personally, was really challenging to do that because we saw opportunities. We're nimble, right? We're a team of 5, and we can move very quickly and adapt very quickly. But because in our heads we said, let's follow this one structure, it slowed us down to the point that we decided we're like, that these are some elements that we can grab today and we can implement on our day-to-days or like L10s or like our weekly meetings to implement action. But as far as like how we're gonna deal with this in the business, right? We have to be very flexible to be able to adapt to the marketplace and the things that we do because we're creating from zero. So when you first started and when you started to evolve in your business, can you single out a situation where it was something similar like that, or like how was that process for you on establishing that structure with your business, with your team members, with the clients that you handle at the time?
I think that you're really talking about rigidity, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us enter entrepreneurship and business the first time we do something with a preconceived idea of how it should be done versus let's figure out how I would like to do it, which is a totally different thing. So, early in my 20s, when I was a new leader, new entrepreneur, new all the things, right? I was looking at other people. How do you do this stuff? And not really sure, like, what's the way, not understanding that that is that guy's way and that's that lady's way and there's all these different possibilities. It took me a while to figure it out that it's like sometimes I can totally just jump out of the airplane and build the parachute on the way down and that's fine. Other times I can just decide, nah, I hate the way the whole world does it. I'm just going to do it my own way and if it goes sideways, that's okay. It's actually been better when I listen to my own intuition
Mm.
about, you know, I know what I want and I know the way I wish to be and who I wish to be in this process. So knowing those things, what can I create that
Yeah.
feels right? And then if it
Yeah.
isn't right, you just tweak it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
That this has been so on topic with my past 2 days, and like, no, I'm not kidding. Like, you guys are like hitting the topic that has been in my mind this past 2 days. So we are trying to build a product, right? Kind of like a 6-week program. We're still working on the details, right? But pretty much we're trying to productize what we've done with our business and with the service. And through this, we've been going through a discovery process where we're calling, people that we work with, people that we know that they publish content, obviously doing the research. And yesterday I was having this conversation with a really good friend, and he's like, dude, I love what you guys are building because it's not about the how. Like, you are providing kind of like a framework for people to build their own how. And then he recommended me a podcast episode, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll listen to it tonight. And last night I was listening to it, and it was talking about how, just what you said, when we come in, we have this preconceived notion of like, oh, successful people are successful because they just do X, Y, and Z, right? Or because they hustle and grind, for example, right? And they they're like, oh, that is the how. I need to become that person. I got to take on that identity. And then they go deeper on tactics, strategies, and they only look for the how, but they don't realize that each of us have different capacity, right? Like, the way he operates is different than the way that you're going to operate. Is different than the way that I'm going to operate. So we all need to find and build our own how. And I think part of what's missing here in the entrepreneurship world is having that space, right? Where you feel confident enough, or you feel supported enough to go and build your own how without maybe, without having in mind like, oh, I'm doing it wrong, right? Having that space for mistakes, and just at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is an entrepreneur, somebody that takes risks, right?
Absolutely.
So
I want to jump in and tell you something. Finish your sentence,
absolutely.
but I don't want to. Okay, so I was on a different show earlier in the week, and the host asked me all about like, well, who are your mentors and role models and all that other stuff. And I think I gave an answer that she wasn't really prepared for. We ended up having a really great conversation, but she's very much, or at least before that conversation, was of the mind that everybody needs a mentor and all that stuff. And then you find out that some people are super extra rebellious and they don't respond to external expectations too well. Hello. Or internal. Also, hello. And so my answer to that question was, I never had a mentor and I didn't use coaches, because why the hell am I going to pay a lot of money for someone I'm not going to friggin' listen to anyway? Like, that's it. Like, this is not ego. This is just me being stubborn, actually. So take it in the context I'm giving it to you. I am my own mentor, meaning that, like, right now, like I'm like, before this meeting, I was working on doing all the logistical back end stuff to launch my own podcast. Yes, I could hire somebody else for this, but I like to know how to do it. I don't care what other people have done. I actually want to learn the hard way by doing it. Like, I just think differently. I've got ADHD. I can't learn stuff from books very easily. I get bored in 2 seconds. I'm like, ugh. It's easier for me to do it, which is why, I was talking to you guys about cryptocurrency before. I'm excited about it because I am in it. I have cryptocurrency, and it's like, oh, now I get it. Like, I'm a learn by do, not so much learn by discuss theoretically or read from a book. So no, didn't do the whole mentoring coaching thing, but it doesn't mean other people shouldn't. It actually depends very much on how you respond to expectations. If you are a person who responds to a good swift kick in the tushy from somebody else, get a coach. If you don't listen to a person on the planet, save your money. Or find someone who really understands how to get you to want to do stuff. Do
you always knew that, or like how do you discover that, right? Because as you're describing this situation, there in my head, I'm going through several situations where I felt the same way. Like, we felt the same way when we launched our live show. There's many people out there telling you should do this way, and you should launch this way, and the art should look this way. And we're like, screw all that, right? We're gonna do this because that's the only way that we're gonna actually execute.
Yeah, it's like, actually, no, you should do it that way. I do it the way I want to do it. Thanks for your input.
Exactly. So, I mean, we felt this way about many things, right? And I obviously I quote the show because it's what we're doing now. But was there a moment where you were like at peace with it? We're like, okay, like from this moment on, or was something like, do you struggle with that? Because I feel like
No, I
that's
was born
one of
this
those
way.
you always knew. Okay, perfect.
No. Like,
No.
listen, everybody needs to send condolences cards and flowers to my parents for raising me. My dad is bald and my mom has completely white hair, and it's my fault. Like,
Thank you, mom
like
and dad.
my
Yeah.
mom would be like, clean your room. No. Hey, you need to do your homework. No. We need you to dress this way. No. You can't swear at church. No. Like, I've been very, very uncontrollable my whole life, unless I have been wanting to exercise self-control. There's not
Yeah.
like, I'm not in the majority of the population. I'm probably like 11% of the population who I don't respond to. Like, if I say I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm not going. Give me a break. Like, but if you tell me, hey, I need you to do this for me for 4 o'clock, no. Like, the only way something gets done is if I deeply want to do it. And, it's been like this my whole life. And, I always used to criticize myself, like, why can't I be like everybody else? Blah, blah, blah. And then I turned it into a superpower. It was like, actually, I want to be like everybody else. I don't fit in. I'm rebellious. I'm extremely disobedient. I question everything. And I'm also incredibly innovative. I'm curious. I find flaws in logic and I make things better. So I'm awesome and the world needs me, is what I've concluded.
Yeah.
Studio clap.
I love it. I love it.
Clap.
There we go. Standing ovation. Standing ovation.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, we go. Crowd was a little late on that one.
Yeah. It's interesting that
And
actually
the crowd goes wild.
there's that. Yeah, the crowd went super wild
I
in this
know.
one. There's this podcast I will listen to. It's called My First Million. It is very entertaining podcast for entrepreneurs. Actually,
It's crack for entrepreneurs.
that's what they
in
say.
audio
It's
form.
crack for entrepreneurs. But these guys were talking about this fighter, right, of the UFC. That he's insane, that he's crazy, and he just like literally when he's like a Russian, and I don't know how to make a Russian accent, but when he like talks, he's
Please
like,
try.
he's
Please
like,
try.
I just want to kill everybody, something like that. He's like insane, right? And
Okay.
yeah, literally like that's what he's saying to like the president of the UFC. And they asked him about success. I don't remember the exact question, but he was like, hey, look, I'm gonna be successful because I'm crazy. I know the crazy people out there is gonna be successful. And the normal people that want to be successful, they're never gonna get to be successful because they're not crazy enough. So the guy that was
No,
talking,
you need a certain amount of crazy to get anywhere in life, because
Yep.
that's where tenacity comes from.
exactly, and I think there's a lot of suppressing the crazy going on around.
Oh my God,
in
you are
the
so
world.
right. I used to hide my crazy. Now I'm like, no, I'm crazier than a shithouse rat and I'm good with it. Like, I don't agree with everybody on most things and it's okay. Like, I'm actually so proud of the crazy, just like this wrestler was, because the crazy makes you different. And like, I posted this on my Facebook the other day, like, well-behaved women, no, what did I say? Poorly behaved women make history, create jobs in their own, and they are their own sugar mamas. Hell yeah. Like, and the
Yep.
same is true of men, of course. But like, behaving basically means that you're living to appease other people. And I'm sorry, but like, there's a lot of us who are just not meant to do that. And it's not that like, it's intended to be disrespectful, but like there's so many brilliant kids that are like squashed from thinking for themselves or thinking of entrepreneurial stuff. I mean, like, I think of my nephew, right? Man, he's such a bright little bugger. He's funny, he's smart, he's 8 years old, he's very obnoxious. He wants to do everything that he wants to do. But he's getting older, and he's more polite, and I can see like school and mom and everybody taming the beast. While sometimes I've wanted to duct tape him to the wall. I love that little booger because someday he's gonna do something great, and I love it because it's gonna come from his rebellion. Like, school takes your spirit out of you. Society takes your willingness to be different out of you. Like, school, society, parents, we mean well, but like what we do to kids is we say to them, don't speak up, don't critically think, don't challenge authority, don't create new things, do what you're told, blend in, and be a good person.
Yeah.
That's boring. Nobody ever innovated, made history, made the world better by doing those things. So if you're weird as hell, good, change the world.
Yeah, I love this conversation of weird, and I'm not gonna lie, like I personally feel like we were pretty weird growing up. I mean, my girlfriend still says that I'm very very weird,
I get
but
it.
on the inside, sometimes I'm like, man, I want to be like weirder, you know? I'm like, I want to get out there. So
just shave your
I'm
beard.
sure you
So-
are weirder. You just need to have more courage to lean into the weirdness.
okay, so let's talk about that because you know when I mention crazy, right, and you're like, oh, I love that. I'm like, cool, because that is the people, and let's put it in the context of content. The
Mhm.
people that are like we can perceive their energy as somewhat crazy, right?
Mhm.
Are the people that connect with the most amount of people out there? Are the people that have their message heard, right? Like people are like, oh, I connect to your crazy, and it doesn't have to be crazy that you're like running out on the street in your underwear, right? That's not the crazy that we're talking about.
No, I
But
haven't
it's
done that
pretty much
lately.
like showing unapologetically on camera and just being
Yeah.
themselves. There's so much fear of that, right? When it comes to putting yourself out there. Of course, like you said, when we're being raised, we're telling like don't speak up, right? Like I'm pretty sure that's a big factor, right? Uh
Mhm.
we love our dad. I'm gonna make that disclaimer before I said this
It's
comment.
become a character of the show.
Yeah, it's
by
because
this
that character.
point, like,
Yeah. But again, I love you, Dad, if you're watching this. Thank you. But growing up, he used to be like, just sit down and listen to me and don't speak up, right? And like if you say something like you're gonna get in trouble, I was like, oh man, like that. And
or be humble, or like don't brag of these things. And we're always like, yeah, like okay, we will have a massive success. This is an example, like go Europe to Europe and play soccer in Europe, for example, for a full year. That was massive to where we grew up. Like that's not normal, right? Like you should be celebrating these things, right? But at the same time, we're like, no, we came back and we're like, okay, we're you know, we don't talk about this
yeah,
too
like
much, right?
I think we perceive being humble so much to the sense that we were like, oh no, you know, like I got lucky. For example, like you pretty much putting away your own merits. But
Yeah.
what I wanted to go with this question is how can people start leaning in to their crazy, right? How can they start show up authentically? And because that in a sense is gonna help them live a better, happier life.
Indeed. So here comes. Do you have a drum roll? Do you have that? You got one of those sound effects? Nice. Here comes shameless plug. The whole reason I wrote my book was to answer that question. So, yay, shameless plug. But anyway, like, so the 6 habits is all about how we think, right? And how our thoughts basically like tear us down, right? And our
Yep.
thoughts are oftentimes they're pre-programmed by our parents by a lot of the stuff that you've just
Mhm.
described, right? And you know, what would happen when you didn't listen to your dad? He, penalized you somehow or gave you some sort of punishment or negative outcome as a result of not doing what you were told, and being humble and all of these things that perhaps served him as a parent who was trying to wrangle 2 rowdy boys, but maybe didn't
Yeah.
serve you as your journey to being men, right? So the second habit, I actually just wrote a newsletter that's going out Tuesday about this. It's all about acceptance. The second habit is acceptance. Acceptance
Mm.
is unconditional self love, which means that you get to disappoint other people knowing that you are still awesome and their
Mm.
disappointment does not change that. And a lot of people can't handle this concept. I mean, I myself for years could not handle it. I would always want to do what I was told, and I would want to blend in and wear the same crap that everybody else in New England used to wear. I don't live there anymore. And I wanted to fit in because I wanted people to like me for essentially being them,
Yeah.
not liking me for me. Turns
Yeah.
out I am a lot different than I thought I was. When I gave myself permission to really let people down, gave myself permission to not please everybody, it was very hard because I had to learn I'm worthy of love.
Yep.
Even if you don't think so, I am worthy of approval from me, even if you don't think so. I am worthy of, you know, having a nice life, even if you hate all my choices. I am worthy of
Mm.
speaking my mind, even if you hate what I say. Like, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. And I love me no matter what I look like, no matter what I sound like, no matter what I've done. I forgive myself for all the dumb shit I've done. I forgive, myself for all the terrible thoughts I've had. And, you know, I treat myself like someone who loves themselves, right? So what happens when we do this work to learn as a default to love ourselves, not just like esoterically and like, out in the ether somewhere, like, oh yeah, I love myself. No, you hardcore love yourself like you love your own
Yeah.
child or your brother or your parent. Like it's not conditional. Like you don't love them based on good behavior. You just love them. That's it. That's the way we need to
Yeah.
treat ourselves, but we don't, right? So what I do in the book is I teach people how to love yourself forever unconditionally and get over the self-loathing bullshit, because then you can say, no, I'm absolutely going to brag about this stuff. And if you're not comfortable with me talking about my accomplishments, it's probably because you haven't worked on yourself and you're deeply insecure. And the only way you feel good about yourself is if I look like shit. And we're not going to play that game. So I'm going to feel good about me. And I'm going to invite you to feel good about you. And then maybe we can try this again. So I'm not going to like, I am absolutely done. And this is probably the biggest advantage of the work that I've done over the last couple of years as a result of the book and all that other stuff. I stopped dimming my brightness because other people didn't bring shades to the party. Like, we're done. Like, I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, I have a wicked sense of humor. I'm the only person in Florida that apparently says the word fuck, around here. But like, I'm big and bold and whatever. I was the only person in Massachusetts that in the middle of winter would wear a hot pink dress because I could, I moved to Maui, and even though it broke my mother's heart, I did it anyway. And I've started multiple businesses and I've done all kinds of crazy stuff. And I've lost friends because I refused to let them encroach on my boundaries. Were they really my friends if they wanted to? Like, these are the things you do when you actually powerfully, unconditionally, crazy love yourself. And my book teaches you how to do that. So shameless plug over.
Yes, let's go.
Love it. Guys, go get the book right now.
Golden boulder moment. That was like a golden boulder, like 10 minutes. So that was great.
Yeah.
So, and I love your passion. Well,
One second.
I just want to say I love your passion.
Oh, we gotta keep plugging the book real quick. Guys,
Yes.
go get the 6 habits. Link is in the description.
Absolutely.
Or Laura, where they can go to get this book? What website? Laura,
Well, you can go to
DiBenedetto.com.
Amazon. You can also go to the6habits.com, THESIX habits.com.
Look at that. Super easy. Super simple.
There's also an audiobook recorded by yours truly.
And you have a 90-day kind of like mastery program too, right? Something like that.
I do. Yeah. So turns out, I say this as the CEO of a marketing company. Habits are not actually formed in the tidy like 21 or 30 days that marketers would have you believe so they can sell you more crap. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. I have sold less programs because I refuse to lie to people, and I feel super good about it. Anyone that buys my program knows it's 90 days, baby. And over this period of time, you're going to be uncomfortable and squirmy and all that other stuff, but you will grow. You will actually get the damn result you came here for, because it does what it says on the tin. Unlike most things where people lie to you. I'm done with that. Like, I'm high integrity, period.
I love that.
And
I
program
love
will
that.
change your life.
Yes. I love that. And I do want to encourage people, go check it out. Give it a try. She has a very nice video explaining everything in there that you can learn from, and then go and
I'm
buy
not
the
quite
book.
as energetic in that video as I am. It's okay.
We can send this little part over here and you can put it in. That's totally fine.
But Laura, now I want to challenge a little bit of your thought right now. And I'm just challenging this because it's actually an idea that I've ran into recently, right? We met this guy again at the event that where we were. This guy is like a thinker, super cool guy. And honestly, like, he had like this aura about him. And I went to him and I was like, dude, like,
he was also like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, he was also like 7 feet tall. He was huge. So I was
hard
like,
not to have an aura when you're that big.
I was like, who are you? What do you do? And he's like, I help people with like their behaviors and like changing them and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, interesting. So I go and check out
Tony Robbins.
Well, sounds like him actually. Now that we talk about it, but Tony Robbins is like 3 times as wide as this guy. But I go to his website, right? And I read the sales page, and honestly, a very like well-crafted sales page. I was like all over it, and he talks about the almost life, how he has been living his almost life for a very long time, right? Like, oh, he wanted to journal, and he almost accomplished it completely, right? Like, he wanted to journal for like a full year, and he almost accomplished it. He wanted to be a professional basketball player, and he almost accomplished that. Like, it would seem like every time he was at the edge of accomplishing something, something would happen, self-sabotage or any other things that would not allow him to be successful, right? And I was like, wow, like, honestly, that story at that point, I was like, it's resonating a lot. And he said it got to a moment in time where, you know, I kind of like discover, obviously he's talking here, this is the sales language of the sales page, but he was like, I discovered a way to change my behavior, and I've been, you know, journaling for like 8 years since, without stopping. I managed to accomplish this X, Y, and Z. And he goes and said, you know, research says that habits change in X amount of days. He's like, I don't believe that. He said, I think you can change habits, honestly, immediately by this concept. And he shared the concept pretty much is when there's a transformational event, you can, it's so powerful that your brain kind of like can rewire what comes next, and you can adopt it. And for example, our mom, she smokes like we grew up and our mom smoked cigarette our entire life. And I remember the day when she came to visit here, and she was like, I just smoked my last cigarette, like that. She's like, I just smoked my last cigarette at the airport. And we're like,
Very nice.
oh, like, awesome. Like, that's amazing, mom. Like, we've been trying to tell you to stop smoking for years.
Right? High five to your mom.
And she stopped, like, completely, right? From that moment on. And so I go back to this guy's concept, right? And now what you're telling me about, like, the 90 days and the work, obviously, I believe, I personally don't know exactly what I believe. I think I lean a little bit more towards your side, but I wanted to challenge that because I think it's interesting ideas, different approaches.
I love what you're asking. So the research that I did, I came across some scientific studies, right? Because I was not interested in failing at this. I know I needed to reprogram my head and learn new thought patterns and stuff like that. So I was coming across scientific studies, and the magic number is actually 66 days. Which seems kind of arbitrary. I made it a 90-day program to basically leave room for error and humanity and being messy and screwing it up, just because we tend to do that, right? I actually believe that both are possible. But the things like 7 days, you know, whatever, like it's either instantly or it takes longer, period. I would say both are probably true. But in one case, you generally need a massive amount of inspiration. So you've seen people, and it can go both ways. So let me make my point here. You know, you've seen people who lose a loved one to death, and then they immediately pick up a drinking habit. It's because something severe happened in their life to inspire them to make that choice. It happened to be a destructive choice, but they inspired them to do that. Or, you know, in the case of my mom, who was in the hospital in the ICU many years ago after a car accident, she was inspired so substantially. She picked up a new habit the next day that was very constructive. You know, I mean, the day after she got out of the ICU. But like, you can do these things, but they generally require much larger stimulus in order to bring them about. My husband, definitely not like your mom. He's tried to quit smoking so many times, and we've been together for like 8 years. And it's like, I'm not saying that what you're what that other fellow went through isn't possible. I actually very much believe it is. But I think that huge pivotal life moments like that, they're harder to come by. And when you can't always artificially manufacture those. I mean, I suppose you could put yourself in the hospital artificially and, you know, put yourself through trauma, but why would you want to do that? But sometimes it's like the birth of a grandchild will inspire you to quit smoking or quit drinking or whatever. Like, these are big life moments. These are like the milestones, right? Or like a big revelation or an epiphany, and you can't reliably plan on those. But that's the reason I wanted to know the science of habit formation. So let's say you and me and the three of us are just sitting here, and we just decide logically, and this is very important, if we logically decide, you know, my life would be better if I didn't treat myself like shit. If you logically decided that, there's no real inspiration behind it to make you do it. It's an obvious observation, but why are you going to do it? You're not. So what I do is I I have all this stuff written in the book that talks about these are the habits. So you know about what's possible. Then there's like this whole workbook that goes free with it, which is like worth a
Yeah.
couple $100. It's completely free. And all of this is to give you that powerful
Yeah.
moment with yourself where you realize I am a jerk to myself. I don't live a good life and it's of my own choosing, right? So maybe we can artificially manufacture these epiphanies through self-awareness, but then once you have the self-awareness, what's the pathway? Cuz
Yeah.
inspiration doesn't always last, blah blah blah. Like what you described is more of a rarity, planning for it and just realizing you probably didn't have an epiphany. More of you just, yep, that makes sense. I think it's time. And you just need
Yeah.
support in those moments, which is why I built that concept.
Yeah.
And I think other people have things like it too.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know,
Mhm.
I'm the kind of person too that goes in and has to try something, right? To be like, okay, does this actually fit the way that I like that I want to execute, or my time? Like for
Yeah.
example, like the birth of my kid, right? That was one of those events, for example, right? And then you start seeing the world
Yeah.
in a very different way. You're like,
Mhm.
you know, now it's like this little dude running around. What do I do? Right? Like the priorities shift
Ah,
big time, right? But at the same time, for
yeah.
example, with things like publishing consistently, right? We talk about this, like our first challenge, like everybody's like, oh, you do it the 5-day challenge or 3-day challenge. Like, what's that going to do for you? Right. We decided to go 45 days straight on Facebook Live, right? That was the thing that
Mhm.
unlocked. And now we're episode 222 on the show, right? Like, and that was the thing that unlocked, but it was a long period before even the show even started that created the not maybe the habit on how to produce it and how to do it, but the act
Mhm.
of speaking on camera, of putting your thoughts into words and put it out there,
Yeah.
right? So for,
Yeah.
you know, in our world, in our context, that's so important because a lot of people find that friction, whether that's in life or in business or when it comes to
Yeah.
publishing, that nowadays you must publish, you must be online, right? At some degree, right? How can you support that depending on your capacity or your, if you have a team, or if you don't have a team, right? So I think it's super important. And I want to encourage everybody to actually go through the links right below in the description and give it a try. Read the book. Go ahead. If this is important, do the workbook, right? Do the work. Like when you write things down, right?
Yep.
They sync and you can understand yourself a lot better, right? And full circle to what we were talking earlier, right? We're gonna start to get to know each other. We're gonna find out probably that we're lying to ourselves in many aspects in our lives, and it takes bravery, right? You're gonna be in a place where you can appreciate that moment because you've grown, and then you can go and implement it again, and you can do it again, and then you've grown again, and that's how we move forward. So
Yeah,
this was fun.
this is what's coming to mind a long time ago. This was years ago. Our mom sent us a video. This guy, I don't remember his name at all, but he was talking about the difference between honesty and integrity, right? And he was saying that like honesty was like speaking the truth, but integrity was like living in accordance of like that you were speaking. And I feel like a lot in this space happens where yes, there's a lot of honest people, but they might not be living in that integrity because maybe they're not like accepting themselves, right? They're just like living
Right.
in a place of like mental negative, and they're saying, "Oh, you gotta be positive," right? And honestly, I'm the
Yeah.
first one to raise my hand in here. Like, it doesn't happen that often, but I found myself, you know, sometimes falling into those negative spots and negative places,
Yeah.
and like talking bad to myself. I'm like, dude, like, why am I like this? And I know it. I'm like, it's like this internal conversation of like, why are you being so negative? And then I was like, oh no, but I'm here. Like I'm just, this is happening to me, right? And
Mhm.
it's challenging to get out of that, right? Is honestly like
But
pretty
it's
challenging.
learnable. You can do it.
It is learnable, exactly. And you know, it kind of, my mind goes to the conversation we're having about crypto before this, that you're like, if you're gonna buy, you gotta buy right now in the dip, right? And I'm like, I feel like people buy into this when they're in the dip in their life, when they're like struggling and having difficult moments. That's when they buy in as well.
Or at
I'm
least that's
curious.
when they should, right? So, like in the financial markets, people novices, they freak out when the market starts going up and they get FOMO and then they buy when the market's high, which you don't
Mhm.
do, right? And then they panic when it's on the way down and then they sell when they shouldn't. It's the opposite. Like, you should when you see it starting to plummet, pay attention, learn how to watch the charts and you buy the dips and then you sell the highs. Like that's how it works at a very simplistic level. And it really, I mean, to your point, it's the kind of the same way in life. It's like, are you
Mhm.
low? Did the pandemic kick your ass? Did you give up on a business dream that you had? Well, maybe buy into yourself at this particular
Mm.
dip in your own life. Like nobody's going to make the investment and when life's great. I mean, trying to sell to construction workers and, construction companies marketing services for years, I heard the same thing over and over. Oh, we don't need anything. We're booming right now. Yeah, but you won't be in 6 months. Yeah, we'll worry about it then. And then in 6 months, well, we don't have the money. You should have planned for it.
I told you guys.
Yeah, makes sense. This conversation has had a lot of inner locus of control, right? Like that. I feel like that's part of the topic, right? People looking at themselves, owning their life and taking responsibility for their actions. And I think the stat that I read once, I don't remember exactly where it was from. I would like to credit that, but it was something like 90% of people don't have internal locus of control, which means they blame others, they point fingers. And I feel like we can honestly see that going on nowadays pretty clearly. But, I
Yeah.
feel like we live in a space where entrepreneurs eventually get there where they're like, okay, or at least majority or some of them are like, I need to take responsibility of our actions. And obviously that's the people that we would like to hang out with.
Of
So
course.
it
Yeah.
becomes challenging when things get difficult, because now you're like, all I gotta look is inside and say, how can I get better at this? How can I,
Right.
change? What can I do instead of blaming other people? So I'm curious for you, as a rebel that you were growing up, and then you still are, right? A rebel. Uh, when did you realize that you had that power? That it was you, the one that was responsible for all your success. You couldn't point fingers, because I feel like a lot of rebels out there, or a lot of people that don't like the rules, or like rules suck, in a sense, are like, oh, my situation sucks because of those rules, and they point fingers, right? So what
Right.
was it for you, that moment that it like transitioned?
It wasn't one, it was just, my whole adult life. It was realization after realization because, you realize you're responsible in this area and that
Mm,
area and that area. The biggest revelation I had though was realizing that um if I had worked on myself really meaningfully in the right areas by changing the contents of my head, not so much the books I read, but like how I think, um, that I could have been richer and happier and healthier all along, and it could have been easier and more fun. I realized that too late, to be honest, because
yeah,
I didn't realize it until I retired. So I spent my whole first career responsible for creating external success, but no internal success, and that just sucks. And a lot of entrepreneurs do that. I mean, you
yeah,
know, there were just so many contributing moments. Like, I mean, just picture a big jar full of marbles, like add the marbles. Like there was no one big marble. It was
yeah.
just lots of tiny little, oh yeah, yep, that's me too. Damn it.
Yeah, I think that's a key point for people
Yeah.
to understand, that it's like not just one big marble, because I feel like a lot of people are just
Um,
chasing that one big thing, right?
yeah, no,
Uh
it's not. I mean, the best thing you can do is realize that you are the cause of and solution to all your problems.
Yeah.
mm, that right there is
Oof.
powerful. Golden boulder moment.
Um,
Boom, the gong.
are you wearing your helmet? Where's your
No,
helmet?
we actually need to buy
Come on,
helmets
man.
so we
Yeah,
can like put them
yeah.
on.
When the
Yeah,
boulders.
we probably could have give Laura some PTSD with the construction company story. Uh, but
That's
I'm
funny.
loving this conversation, and I've had this question since I wrote your intro. It's actually not that related with what we've been talking about. But I'm like, what do you do when you retire at 37? Like, what's life like?
Uh, it's very
well,
contemplative.
well, for her, I mean, you rediscovered this whole new
I,
you, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, "Oh, well, I don't like golf, and I'm still young enough to do stuff." I mean, I took myself on a celebration trip to Maui, like, "Yay, I retired. Congratulations to me," like
yeah,
throwing the patting myself on the back. And i- it was man, just like I was just in such a like a contemplative place because I finally had time to
mm,
be that way. I'm actually a very deep thinker. And I mean, like Dr. Jordan Peterson, he's one of my heroes. Like, I love huge, meaty, juicy, complicated ideas. They're fun. And then it just gave me lots of time to think. So while I'm there on Maui, I was just like, I always wanted to live here. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, wait. I could live here. So I moved there.
Wow.
Um, and it was, damn it, one of the best things I ever did. It was super fun. Like, I lived next to the beach, and I was walking on the beach almost every day and hiking in the jungles and everything. And
Wow.
but I don't want to sit still ever. Like, even if I don't need to do anything, I do, because I have a need for creative expression.
Yep.
Because like retirement is, in my view, not having to work anymore. I choose to because I love what I'm doing. Like, let's be honest, I make $4 each on my book, okay? Like, and like I'm not gonna break the bank with that kind of like income, but like I care
Yep.
about getting the message out there. And
Yeah.
like, like I deeply love what I do. It matters. I hate seeing people unhappy, and like that's awesome. And the whole reason I'm starting my own podcast is because I I just want to help people. And like,
Mhm.
especially after the last year and a half, I've never seen people be so divided, so unhappy, losing family and friends left and right, being isolated socially and feeling like they don't belong and afraid.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Don't be afraid. Like, live. You can be safe and you can live. And I want to help you do it. Start the business, take a
Yeah.
risk. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. So I do that from a place of love. So that's what retired people hopefully do, at least this one. Follow your
Yeah.
Yeah.
dreams and do stuff because you care about it.
And,
I love it.
and thank you for that, because we
Mhm.
coming from Venezuela, this is the second time we live a situation like this, and it sucks, right? Like our country was destroyed by division, by family members like falling left and right, and there's a reason we're here. There's a reason we're raising our families here, and so thank you.
Oh,
Do the
yeah.
show, launch it. Like, I'm sure you will, like, ASAP. We'll be the first
I'm
to listen, first
excited.
to subscribers,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Thanks.
thank you.
Tell us
Yay.
a little bit. Plug that too. Plug the podcast.
Do we have a name yet?
Make a public commitment in here so you cannot back up from
Exclusive.
creating your
No,
your
I'm
content.
committed. I'm doing this. So the show is going to be all about sovereignty. I haven't decided if I want to announce the name yet or not. I don't know. But it's going to be all about sovereignty and exploring all the different nuances of sovereignty. I think one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of policy creators are making on both sides of the political aisle is creating one size fits all solutions for people. And it's very foolish. And I've learned this over the years as a business leader and as a coach. There is no such thing. If
Yeah.
intelligent, thoughtful policy that actually functions well and serves the greater good accounts for nuance. And I think that's largely missing. And I'm very excited to talk about sovereignty and all the different nuances. I mean, I'm about to say some things that are probably not going to shock you, because just because how we know each other at this point, but they might shock some people. Women like orgasms. They're fun. The purpose of the clitoris is specifically and only recreational, and yet women are shamed for wanting to enjoy sex. Like, that's dumb. I want to offer people, and women in particular, an opportunity to be sexually sovereign. Wouldn't you love to have more money than you know what to do with and be financially sovereign? Wouldn't you like to have the chutzpah to actually start your business after years of dreaming about it, start doing the damn thing, and live your life according to your own dreams and hopes and everything? How would you like to learn about, like, actually detaching from like Western medicine? Is that your thing? Like, do you want to be totally sovereign in your body and your being? Do you want to be free of the fears and insecurities that your poor parents, God love them, installed in your brain when you were a kid? Like, sovereignty is so much, and
Yeah.
being able to explore all the different nuances. God, you can tell I'm very, very excited about it, but I'm
Yeah.
so excited to
Good.
empower people with bigger ideas, and realize, oh, all these little prison bars are optional and they can go away anytime. I can choose to walk out of this self-created prison. I get to decline, and I don't need to do what society tells me to do, or what society has said a woman needs to be, or I don't need to fit into your neat little boxes that you have for me. I get to be fully myself. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not one of those people who I believe in multiple lives. I've heard about it. I'm like, a little skeptical. So just hedging our bets here,
Mhm.
we've got one sovereign life. My God, we have a moral obligation to live it
Yeah.
well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is a
Absolutely.
totally
I love it.
divine experience to get to be a being that is rolling around in these weird little meat suits on this rock hurtling through space. And it's like, what a privilege. And we spend it trying to please others?
Mm.
Yeah.
Why? So, anyway, we're going to be diving into that on my show and giving people food for thought.
Yes,
Yes.
let's go. This is absolutely
I was
amazing.
gonna ask you like, I was gonna ask you like why you publish, but I think this was very
Yeah.
clear. And
Yeah.
we're honored to have this conversation with you. It was so fun.
Just so you know, we're gonna cut this clip. That's gonna be the ad for your podcast right there.
Yeah,
People are gonna be like,
Boom!
and I can't wait to see a conversation between you and Jordan Peterson. I think that's gonna happen.
Hey.
I think that's
He's
gonna
my
happen
dream
someday.
guest. I want to have him on my show. Like,
And
he's
he
my
will
number
be
one
your
dream guest. He's a
Hey.
mouthy little bastard. I love it. He's got all the opinions and the biggest brain on the planet. I'm like, ooh, sign me
Yeah, I
up.
love his content. I follow him.
Yeah.
I still. Fun fact, I still have, well, not that fun of a fact, but I still haven't read his books. I follow him. I've heard
You
his
haven't?
podcast.
Oh my God.
but I
Read his
haven't read
books.
his
They're
books.
so thought provoking.
I will read it after those comments for sure.
So as we wrap up, what is an action point, right? Like to the point, obviously, go download the, go get the book in whatever form you feel comfortable with. Download the workbook, do it, execute it. Other than that, what's something that they can do today to own themselves?
Well, I think it's really valuable to just take stock of where you are in your life, have some really good self-awareness. Here's where I am, here's what I want. What does the gap in between look like, and what am I willing to do about it? And the path usually will be found within the confines of working on yourself. So, there is one thing I did want to say that I forgot. A big thing that actually really irritated me when I was researching the things to make my own life better, which ultimately resulted in the book, is that a lot of books depend on you having the ability to do the things and having the right
Mhm.
mindset in order to take the advice. So I realized that every book I would ever read after I did this would be more effective and would actually stick in my brain because I had done the correct foundational work. And
Yeah.
my book does that. You don't have to read my book if you don't want to. Obviously, I'm going to plug it as much as I can, but like
Yes. Yes.
just do the damn foundational work on your thought process, because if your thoughts are shit, your life is shit. If your thoughts are clean, your life is good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Funny comment on that. Like we on one of the shows that we listen, this guy's like, I'm studying like I don't read self-development books anymore. And like the other co-host goes like, why don't you read it? Well, I did some research and I listen to the books, audiobooks, right? And I found this one guy that has read like 50,000 self-development books, and the guy doesn't make more than 50 grand a year. He's never improved his life. So if the guy that reads the books for a living doesn't improve, why should I go? So I think it ties
That's
down to
funny.
what you're just saying, the basics, right? Like you have to be at this spot where you can you have to go implement. So I love the fact that you can.
I caution on the word basics because that makes people think it's simple. I want to really emphasize
you. Yes.
foundation, because
Foundation.
that's the thing
Yes.
that sits under your house and it's built of bedrock or granite or stone or concrete. It's
Yes.
hard, it's firm, it's not going anywhere. The foundation is what you build everything else on,
Yes. Thank
I
you.
love that. I
English
love
is not my first language, clearly. So
Excuses.
foundation.
You just need to listen
It's my
better.
fault.
That's what's happening.
No, absolutely.
No criticisms of your language skills.
And you were mentioning the gap. Look at this. This is one of my daily affirmations that I don't do so daily,
right.
but I need
Oh,
to do so daily. I acknowledge the gap between where I am meant to be, my dreams, and where I am today. I am committed to take the action necessary to close that gap. I am an action taker.
That's
Ah.
beautiful. Why don't you do that every day?
I take action every day. I don't read this every day, but I do need
Why?
to. It's in the title right there.
I
Actually-
know. I know that you
Yeah.
don't. You admitted it very honestly. I'm calling you lovingly out. Why don't you
love
do it every day?
That's a great question. And when people ask me now why, I'm like, I can only look inside myself, and I'm like, I just felt myself on doing that, so I need to.
So, do you have an
Commit.
iPhone?
Yes.
Grab your phone right now. Hey Siri, remind me to affirm myself every morning at 9 a.m.
Hey Siri,
Your reminder is set starting
remind
tomorrow
me
9 a.m.
every morning at 9 a.m. to read my daily affirmations. Siri is thinking.
Okay. Your reminder is set starting tomorrow 9 a.m.
Let's
Done.
go.
Boom.
Tomorrow 9 a.m.
Let's
And that,
go.
my
I'll send
friend,
you a
is called
picture.
digital accountability. Bam.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
High five.
All right. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Anything else you want to add before we head out?
Just I guess thanks everybody for listening and having fun with us. If you made it this far, you are clearly a rebellious person who enjoys thoughtful ideas, and good for you. Work on you and you'll go places.
And I want to add there, thank you for buying the book.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Yes, that too. Thank you.
With that said, guys,
even
thank you
considering it.
so much for tuning into the Content Profit Podcast. Go ahead and follow the show on your favorite platforms and on social media at BIZBROS.
That is Laura here. Help you move one step closer to your goal. Please don't forget to share this episode with 3 friends and leave a 5-star review. See ya.
Bye, guys. Hey.
Awesome.
All right, Laura, last tradition. I know that we're like right on time with what we agreed. Selfie time.
That's okay.
Boom.
We like to live on the edge.
Yeah, we like to live on All
It
right.
says still live. Are we still live?
We're
Oh no,
still live
that's just a sticker. Oh no, yeah, we're still live actually.
for the selfies.
yeah.
Because
Smile. People on the other side.
Big
Yeah,
smile
smile.
too. All right, big smile. 1, 2, 3.
All
Awesome.
right.
All right. Bye, social medias. We'll see you on Friday.
On Friday, we're back here. All right. We're not